Welcome to another edition of the Stack Supplement Podcast, where we run down all the top stories and exciting announcements shared on our website from the past 7 days. And we're going to get straight into it. Last week was a pretty busy week, and I mean in terms of the podcast episode, as I actually think I sped things up, but we managed to go like 35 minutes anyway, and there was a shit ton of chapters. But we're going to jump straight into it. And before, as always, going to pass off some admin. There is some news coming very soon about the Arnold collaboration, our Sports Festival collaboration. Now, I've mentioned it many times before, and I'm going to mention it till the cows come home, purely because it's one of the biggest things Stack's done in, I don't know, like years, ever, pretty much. We have been working ridiculous amounts of hours behind the scenes trying to make this thing an event that you won't forget. But the development we have is that we are going to be announcing some of the participants very, very, very shortly. We have the first one kind of set out and confirmed. As I said, the plan is to have about 30 to 40 in this specific specialized section of the Arnold Sports Festival. And there's plenty more announcements to come, including things that we're going to be doing outside of the exhibitors, or I guess the event, like sort of pop-ups and features at the show. And there are many announcements coming that we'll be sharing that aren't necessarily directly related, but incredibly important and crucial to hear about the show. And I will give some hints. We haven't actually put this on the site. I'm not going to put this on the site, but I'll tell you right now, the first brand that's going to be announced is a past brand of the year of Stacked. And the interesting part is, and I love giving teasers on things that are actually my own rather than people giving me teasers to post about on Stacked, is that one of this, I'm trying to count on top of my head, while the first one to be announced will be one of our past brands of the year, an amazing one at that, it's not the only brand of the year that's in there. I think there are several. Yes, there are quite a few. Yes, actually, there are quite a few. Now that I'm counting it, there are several. Yeah, there's quite a few. Okay, so either way, that's the least I'm giving out for now, and we'll have more information and announcements coming on the Arnold Sports Festival in the UK. Either way, if you haven't made plans to go there, whether you're industry, consumer, fan, fanatic, enthusiast, whatever it may be, get your tickets, be there. Hit me up if you have any ideas or anything you want to see there, and we'll be sure to make it happen. But it's going to be one for the ages. So jumping straight into the announcements from last week, and there are some. We don't have as many as we did the week before, but Jesus, where there's some giants to be shared. The first one we're going to start off with is confirmation on what exactly Beast Pharm is doing. Now, Beast Pharm is a brand that's been teased and hinted at over the past few weeks. It is from Eddie Hall, World's Strongest Man, first man to deal with 500 kilos, famously. So he had been teasing the coming of a full-on supplement line. It was basically a teaser of shadowed, blanked out tubs, which was more than enough for me to think, okay, if I'm seeing this image and I'm seeing supplement tubs, we're about to get a series of supplements under the Beast Pharm brand. And they're launching, today's Monday, so about a week from now, as far as I know. In the UK specifically, I don't know too much about the expansion on the US yet, but we finally got details on, I guess, what exactly we are getting in this series. So we're going to be sharing them actually in this coming week. We're going to be sharing product by product, highlighting what's in them and stuff like that. But there will be two pre-workouts, Stim and Pump. Stim is obviously the stimulant bag supplement, and Pump is more designed for pumps. Interestingly though, Stim, is a stimulant-based pre-workout that does have a couple ingredients for the benefits that aren't Stim-related, so not energy and focus related. Pump, however, is all about muscle pumps. Then we have Hydro, which is an intra-workout geared towards hydration and sort of supporting performance endurance while you work out. And then the last one is called Recover, which is not the supplement I expected. I figured since we're getting pre-workout, two pre-workouts and an electrolyte formula, that it would go without saying that the last one's going to be a protein powder. It's called Recover. It's actually a post-workout, which for those not familiar, post-workouts are traditionally more complex supplements. They're designed to give you, well, a protein powder is quite versatile in the sense that you can take it post-workout as well as with a meal or whatever. Post-workouts are designed specifically to take after your workout and generally consist of things that aren't just protein, whether that mean aminos, creatine, And in this case, with Beast Farm's Recover, we know for certain that it's going to feature a combination of nutrients, so protein and carbohydrates, specifically a 2-to-1 carbohydrate to protein ratio. So for every gram of protein, you get double that in carbs. I don't know the exact amount, but let's just say it's 30. You'll be getting 60 grams of carbs. That's not the actual number. I'm just giving you an example. But yes, check it out on the site. Follow along all this week because we'll be posting up everything about these products over the coming days. And definitely follow on for more news. Keeping in line with the whole teaser thing, even though Beast Farm unveiled something, we got another teaser last week from one of my favorite brands, The Stack. And I mean this wholeheartedly. I actually buy from these guys regularly because when it comes to specialized supplements, and I mean things that aren't necessarily your protein powders, pre-workout, stuff like that, things that would be geared towards general health, muscle building, weight loss, there aren't many brands you can go to. And my go-tos are usually Core Nutritionals, Morphogen, SNS, and that's exactly what we got here from SNS, Serious Nutrition Solutions. She had a teaser on a product called Pepti-Plex, and they are promising this thing to be a pretty solid supplement. Now, it is featured or centered around a natural anabolic peptide, very similar to Glaxon's Anomaly, which leads me to think that Pepti Strong, which is the key ingredient in Anomaly, or one of key ingredients, that will be in Pepti-Plex from SNS. But in saying that as well, SNS is not known for, they are known for standalone supplements. Pepti-Plex is not a standalone supplement, which would suggest that if Pepti Strong, if that is in fact in there, that's not all they're going to be thrown in there. I suspect we're going to get a pretty complex supplement, pretty complex formula, and you can never really be disappointed when it comes to SNS. These guys know how to do some stuff. They hold the position of #1 fat burner on our site with lean edge, and it's stimulant free, incredibly versatile, incredibly effective. And they got another supplement you can stack with it in Thermoscorch. So very specialized brand. They give you the capacity to stack supplements on supplements if you so choose. And that's one of the things I like about these brands is that you have the opportunity to buy more, to get more. Some brands just have one fat burner, or one muscle builder. Let's say you want to spend $100 and get 3 fat burners or 3 muscle builders. You have the ability to do that with SNS, Core Nutritionals, Morphogen, and so on. And so yeah, Pepti-Plex coming soon. You can check it out on the site. There is a shadowed image that shows basically the top half of the product. Doesn't really kind of give you an idea on what's coming, but gives you a good indication of, I've got a few details in there, in the story, kind of mentioning what it might be, what there's in it. More information coming soon as the product, I believe, is not far away from becoming available itself. The next story we're going to jump to is actually not so much a product development, but a pretty big news. Perfect Sports, Canadian company known for their New Zealand Whey diesel protein powder. They recently released their diesel protein bar. So this is a spin-off of their famous diesel protein powder. And it is made with New Zealand-based protein sources. And the interesting fact isn't that so much about any details that surface, because we previewed it or unveiled it a couple weeks back. 16 to 17 grams of protein, 190 to 210 calories, so nothing too outrageous, nothing fairly typical for a protein bar. But the big news is these guys sold it. They just launched it, but they sold over 500,000 bars in the first day. Now, these, I think, are big success stories that people would love to hear. Now, again, it's like you tend to hear successful launches from time to time, and they don't necessarily always mean much. You can sort of hear, we sold out, and without numbers, that doesn't make much difference because some people might be making 200 units, some people might be making 10,000. So it's hard to gauge how successful a product is. But when we get the opportunity to share numbers, which is what we have here, we put them out there because I think it's good to know just how ridiculously big some of these guys are and how well they're selling. And so, Perfect Sports, who has incredible distribution across Canada, proudly promotes this diesel as being the #1 Canadian whey protein, I believe. It's very popular. And their protein bar is seeing similar success, selling, like I said, over 500,000 bars in the first day. Obviously, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's encompassing distribution, retailers, and whatnot. But just to give you an idea, that's something in the realm of 42,000 boxes. This is no joke. So that is just a big deal that I thought was well worth highlighting. The launch, which went down last week, also included details on the specific macros, because previously we only had the protein and calories. So if you were on the site, you would have seen the exact breakdown that gives you the calories. But that product is out now in Canada and very clearly doing ridiculously well. 500,000 bars is, again, no joke. Fantastic. Congratulations to Perfect Sports, and obviously a good sign of what's to come if you can sell that many on the first day. It means it bleeds into success and more attention on that product moving forward. The next story I've got comes from the team over at Evogen. Hani Rambod, the legendary Olympia coach, Hani Rambod, his brand has launched something for the clear category. Now, this is something that this is a type of product I have now begun just calling clear protein. I used to say a protein powder is clear and refreshing taste. Now I'm just saying it's the clear category of protein powder. Very similar to how when plant protein started emerging, I would say this is a vegan-friendly or plant protein. There are so many clear protein powders out there right now. It deserves to be its own sort of subcategory. And Evogen has just thrown itself in that ring with a product called IsoJect Clear. IsoJect is obviously Evogen's premier protein powder, where isolate-based protein powder. IsoJect Clear is very similar, full-on isolate-based formula, but instead of coming in your traditional chocolate, vanilla, peanut butter, cookies, and so on, they've opted for more fruity, refreshing flavors, as is the case with anything that kind of falls into that clear protein subcategory. So IsoJect Clear comes with 20 grams of protein, a single gram of carbohydrates, no sugar, zero fat, and 90 calories. So ridiculously lean, but keep in mind that is also based on 20 grams of protein. Very similar to plant-based protein powders and even other clear protein powders. They feel the need to do 20 grams of protein. So keep that in mind. When you're looking at supplements and you're sort of seeing, hey, this is 2 pounds, or this has got, not even 2 pounds, sorry, let's say this is 25 servings and this is 25 servings, double check that protein count. That is a huge factor, because you could be losing out a serving or two if you're just not paying attention to how much protein you're actually getting in those servings. Either way, IsoJect Clear is incredibly lean, 20 grams of protein. If it's just protein alone, that's 80 calories. And this is 90, so you only got 10 calories not from the protein, which again, is pretty lean profile, and that is common with the clear protein powders. As for the flavors, they have launched them in Wildberry Blast and Watermelon, so 2 to start. But as is the case with most supplements from most brands, I suspect that if it does well, we'll start to see more. We'll start to see some extensions. And Evogen has done that many, many times for its signature IsoJect protein powder. So I wouldn't be surprised if that leads into that moving forward. Next up, we're going to shoot all the way over to the team over at Battery. Battery is not an energy drink company you will have probably seen before. If you're in the US, not pretty much anywhere but Europe, or even specifically like the Nordic region, Scandinavian region, Battery is a Finnish energy drink company, and a ridiculously popular one at that. It is widely available in Finland, and as you know, Stack shares news from companies around the world, and sometimes we get requests from companies in these countries. But yes, Battery is a hugely popular brand, one of those ones that you would find in supermarkets, in like displays by itself. So it's, even though you don't see it in North America, it is ridiculously important to Finland and that part of the world. And yeah, it makes some pretty crazy flavors, delicious flavors. They have done some good ones, but some obscure ones that might be good in that country or that part of the world, but just not to my liking. They started the year with a sort of a multi-benefit functional series called Battery Plus. And basically it combines 105 milligrams of caffeine, I think. Pretty sure it's 105. 105 milligrams of caffeine with ingredients for other benefits. And that included Battery Plus Immunity and Battery Plus Focus. Obviously combines focus ingredients and immunity ingredients. They've now launched a product called Battery Plus Multivitamin. And as you can probably gather, it is that 105 milligrams of caffeine with various vitamins and minerals for general health. Keeps in the theme of those other ones. So it keeps the no sugar, under a gram of carbs, and virtually no calories. So nice and nutrition friendly. And it comes in its own unique flavor. So very similar to how Battery Plus Immunity and Battery Plus Focus have their own unique flavor, as in they don't both come in blue raspberry and come in fruit punch. They come in their own individual flavors. Battery Plus Multivitamin is in the same boat. That is only available in a mango dragon fruit taste. So very unique, very different. out now in Finland, already showing up on shelves. And we are getting into the final big stories. I always like to close, well, as I get further to the end of these episodes, I tend to kind of get some cool shit in there. And this one was one of the powerful ones that we came out last week with. And this was the story on, I don't know if this is how I pronounce it, I'm going to say it anyway, but Ryabolic. This is Ekkovision's most premium pre-workout to date. Now, the reason this got a lot of attention was because of how they described it. Now, Ekkovision got on my radar purely because of Dethroner. That was the thing that put it out there. Dethroner was, if you don't remember, was their powerhouse pre-workout that had more branded ingredients than I think I had seen anyone even come close to. It was ridiculous. And then they did a V2. Then at the start of this year, they announced that anything that wasn't a collaboration with an athlete, it was going to be discontinued, which did unfortunately mean Dethroner. Now, Ryabolic is a product put in partnership with Ryan Jewers. I think I could be butchering that name. But yes, it's a pre-workout put together with him, and it is intended to dethrone Dethroner, which I thought was a fantastic description of the product, and obviously means it's loaded. It's a powerhouse product, and they didn't disappoint. While I don't think it's as, like, Dethroner, you looked at the label and went, holy shit, how did they get this in there? Ryabolic isn't quite that, but it is very similar. So they have some pretty solid highlights in that thing. I'm just going to rattle off all of them because they're all pretty damn impressive. So the full 2-scoop serving packs 10 grams of citrulline, 4 grams of hydropyne glycerol, 3.2 of beta-alanine, 3 grams of tyrosine, 2.5 betaine. On the premium ingredient side, you got 1.5 nitrosagenes of full effective dose, 508 of vasodrive, 400 milligrams of cognizin to elevate enhanced focus, 100 milligrams of Vantra-Z, 100 milligrams of another premium focus ingredient in Cognatic or CogniQ. The ingredient basically replaced the Neurofactor, Huperzine A, theobromine, another one, 400 milligrams of Sand Energy, alpha GPC at 600 milligrams, and then of course a nice fat dose of, well, not fat, but a solid dose of caffeine at 275 milligrams. But if I remember correctly, yeah, so it's 275 of caffeine anhydrous, and then there's another 75 of Zumixar extended release caffeine, which brings it to a total of 350. So pretty solid amount for a pre-workout. Very well-rounded supplement. I'm actually going to be grabbing this. I believe it goes live September 9th, which is this Sunday or this Saturday. I could be way up on that, Miami Friday. Either way, it's September 9th. Keep it out on the site. I'm going to be placing an order. It's a pretty, it sounds like their flagship premier pre-workout. They have a lot of pre-workouts, but it's a pretty solid one, clearly. And you can't go wrong when you have that name, Dethrone the Dethroner. I thought that was very entertaining and definitely got my attention. The next story we've got, the last two we have, the last one's absolutely huge. It's going to take a lot of explaining. So is this one. Prime Hydration has announced a fresh new flavor, and it is already available. I believe they announced it Monday or Tuesday and rolled it out like that Wednesday. It is a flavor called Glowberry, and for those who want a fun little fact, in the UK, Prime has the flavor described on the bottle. In the US, that's not the case. And so we were able to confirm that Glowberry is a sour apple berry flavor. Kind of give it away in the name, sour, was it Glowberry? And then on the bottle, they've actually got illustrations of apples. Damn good taste. As enjoyable as the others. Very similar formula. Some electrolytes to help with hydration. But the more interesting thing, obviously, this one is kind of the exclusivity. If you missed it, this is quite possibly the most exclusive one they've done to date. So, firstly, Glowberry glows in the dark. I had to double check this. I asked them because I just assumed it was called Glowberry to just, like, Meta Moon isn't from the moon, but I just assumed maybe there was a twist to it. So they could confirm that it does glow in the dark. I did indeed get to put it in the sun, put it in the dark, found out it's not like a blaringly glow, but it does glow. Secondly, and this is the very interesting part, for Prime fans, specifically Prime collectors, they have made this thing ridiculously exclusive. And not just the general flavor. So the product has launched in the US, UK, Canada, and Australia. Where the exclusivity part comes in is they have launched special edition reskins or labels, basically. There are different versions of the drink, not the inside. The inside's the same ingredients and all that. The bottle is different. So I'm going to have to rattle off because not on the top of my head do I remember most of them. So there is a Glowberry Prime hydration that has a split design, like a paper tear down the middle. That is exclusive to US and Canada. There is then another one that has like a paint drip separator. So you have the top is black with green accents, and there's like a paint drip, and then it's green with black accents. That's the same reverse of the Rip one. You have black, and then it reverses. And so the paint drip one, I'm just calling it drip split. That one's for the UK. Then in the US and the UK, there's a ultra rare holographic one. The others are rare, but this one is described as ultra rare. And then in Australia, obviously the ultra holographic one, it's kind of in the name, has a holographic design on the label. And then in Australia, this one is, I actually had to ask them because I was very confused. So the Australian special edition just says like ultra rare, if I'm going to say like limited edition. I looked at it pretty closely. I did not see any difference in the design whatsoever outside of the stamp that says like limited or whatever it says. So it's kind of, limited edition rare. So it's got a circle that says that it has the same design as the regular flavors. So, I mean, either way, limited nonetheless. And that's only in Australia. So if you are a collector and you like to collect all these special editions, you have a task ahead of you, because you can only get one of them in Australia. You can only get one of them in the US and Canada. There's one only in the UK, and there's also one only in the US and UK. So if you're a UK collector, you got to do some hunting. If you're in Australia, you're going to get one, but you've got about 3 others you got to find. It's out now, available in stores. The usual hydration formula. Good dose of electrolytes, nothing ridiculously huge compared to your dedicated hydration supplements, and should be available. I thought it was interesting that it's available in Australia, because I remember I'd seen them announce things that were in the US and the UK, but this time they've included US, UK, Canada, and Australia. So big deal for Down Under. The last story we have, and this is just a mammoth of an announcement. Ghost has done quite possibly its most intricate collaboration to date. So we've seen Ghost partner with athletes ambassadors, Christian Guzman, Maxx Chewning, and we've seen a partner with companies like Oreo, Chips Ahoy, and so on. They have done a partnership that kind of involves both. So for those not familiar, Maxx Chewning has a candy company called Sour Strips, and they do indeed make strip-style candy that's sour. It's available in tremendous amount of places, and it's very popular, obviously very tasty. It's not like a functional thing that has 0 sugar. It's just straightforward sour candy. And so Ghost has teamed up with Sour Strips for a flavor based on the Rainbow Sour Strips candy. So it's a partnership with Maxx Chewning and sort of Sour Strips all in one. Now, the rainbow flavor, I haven't tried this candy myself, sorry. So the rainbow flavor is described, I'm trying to recall what it says. It's saying that it's not really a flavor. That it's rainbow. So it's vaguely described. They don't say like it's cherry, blue, raspberry, whatever. They just sort of say rainbow isn't really a flavor. That's the description. So I'm imagining it's sort of like a combination of sweet kind of taste, sort of like if you grabbed a handful of Skittles, you'd be combining multiple flavors. But as for the products, it is a ridiculously extensive selection. So, and this is why I think it might be, I'm kind of still calling it the most intricate collaboration Ghost has done. Firstly, Ghost has done the Rainbow Sour Strips flavor for 3 supplements: Ghost Legend, Ghost Pump, and Ghost Size. So the creatine-based muscle builder, Ghost Size. And it's done it for the Ghost Energy Drink. Now, they did this previously, I think it was for one of Maxx Chewing's previous collabs, where they did a flavor of, I think was it Strawbango? Can't remember off the top of my head. I know that they did it for supplements and an energy drink. So this is a big deal because it's with obviously Maxx Chewning, Sour Strips, and then 3 supplements and an energy drink. Very intricate, very large selection. Obviously, you've got Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which had 4 supplements in it, or 5 this year. Then you had, what was the other one? Space Jam, which I think had 2, 3. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. It had a few. But here we've got 4 and the energy drink. So if it's not the most intricate collaboration, the fact that it involves Maxx Chewning and his own candy, it's a pretty damn extensive one, and it's right up there. So they're all launching, I believe, on the 9th. Is that the same day as the Ekkovision one? I might be mixing those two up. Look on the site if you haven't. But the Ghost one is September 9th. That one is launching September 9th. We have more detail because I think there might be like some availability information revolving around all of them. And yeah, stay tuned to the website. If you want a closer look at the energy drink and the supplements, it's all on the site, pictures and everything like that. And look forward to giving it a try. I haven't tried it yet, but Ghost does tend to knock some collaborations out of the park. That's sort of one of their famous sayings, like they hit home runs. That's almost always what the kind of the goal, obviously. And they have got a pretty solid history of proving that. But yeah, check it out on the website for more information, closer look, details and stuff like that. Stay tuned for the Arnold announcements, which I believe we will have that first brand soon. And again, if you want to take some guesses, it is an X brand of the year. Well, sorry, not X brand, a previous brand of the year. And they will be the first one to be announced, and it is just going to be a domino effect from there. So once again, and as always, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening, and look forward to having you back next time.